Hello students, this video of nutrition in plants part 5 is brought to you by Aryabhat National Public School. In this part of the video, we will discuss how nutrients are replenished in the soil. The main nutrients required by plants are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These nutrients are present in the soil naturally. Plants absorb these nutrients from soil. Therefore, the nutrients in the soil keep on decreasing. When crops are grown in the field again and again, these nutrients go on decreasing and decreasing. These plants' nutrients need to be added from time to time. It is necessary to put back, to replenish these nutrients from time to time. This putting back of nutrients in the soil is done by different methods, some of which we are going to discuss. The first method by which we can replenish our soil with nutrients is by adding fertilizers and manures. Adding fertilizers and manures. Fertilizers and manures contains plants nutrients, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, etc. So when we add fertilizers and manures, the soil gets enriched with plant nutrients. The crops can then grow well in the soil. The second method of replenishing the soil with nutrients is by growing leguminous crops. How growing leguminous crops replenish the nutrients in the soil? In the earlier classes, we have discussed about root nodules. What are root nodules? I will show it here. This is above the surface, this is below the surface. When roots are grown in leguminous plants, these roots have just like this. These are root nodules. And what these root nodules do? These root nodules contains a very special bacteria called rhizobium bacteria. And what these rhizobium bacteria do? These rhizobium bacteria convert nitrogen gas present in air into nitrogen compounds like nitrates. See, earlier we have discussed about it. Just like carbon dioxide, the plants take carbon dioxide directly from atmosphere and to make their food. But this is not the same with the nitrogen gas. Plants cannot use nitrogen gas directly from the atmosphere. They need a wire in between. They need something that have to convert this nitrogen gas into soluble compounds, water soluble compounds, like nitrates. And this is done by these rhizobium bacteria. And the plants that have these rhizobium bacteria are called leguminous plants. For example, such as gram, peas, pulses, all these plants are leguminous plants. And all the beans also, these all are leguminous plants. We call them legumes also. These leguminous plants have root nodules, and in this root nodules there is a special bacteria called rhizobium bacteria, and these bacteria convert the nitrogen gas into nitrogen compounds like nitrates, and and replenish the nutrients in the soil. By this way, the nutrients are replenished in the soil by growing leguminous crops. The first we discussed was by adding manures and fertilizers. The second is by growing leguminous plants. There is one more method to replenish the nutrients in the soil, and that we have to keep the field empty. We don't have to plant any crop, but that we cannot afford because day by day our population is growing. We need more food. We cannot leave our fields vacant. We have to grow something to fulfill the need of the living beings. Therefore, these two types of methods are used to replenish the nutrients in the soil. This is the end of this chapter. What we have learned till now in this chapter is we will summarize, it is already summarized in your book, that all the organisms need food for the growth and maintenance of their body. Green plants synthesize food for themselves by the process of photosynthesis. That's why they are called autotrophs. And those plants who cannot prepare their food and they are dependent on other plants for their food are called heterotrophs. For photosynthesis, chlorophyll, water, carbon dioxide, sunlight are essential requirements. In photosynthesis, solar energy is converted into chemical energy. Oxygen is the byproduct of photosynthesis. Oxygen is produced in the photosynthesis. Soils need replenishment of nutrients, and that is done by different methods. Now you have to answer all the questions in your notebook. I will provide you a PDF copy that you have to write it in your notebook. Thank you for watching.